Thanks for staying with us. So joining us on this segment in the studio is a renowned farmer, Dr. Bashorun Olajide. In 2021, he was awarded the Farmer of the Year in Lagos State, recognizing his outstanding contributions to agriculture. We'll be discussing the agricultural sector under the administration of our president, with the major focus on food security and affordability. We'll go into policies, strategies, and initiatives aimed at boosting food production, reducing importation, and making food more accessible to Nigerians. Welcome with us, Dr. Olajide. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much
with us. Okay, when I talk about agriculture, instead of me to talk about how much we're producing, exporting, the first thing that comes to mind is security. Because we always think to ourselves, are we growing anything because of the incessant attacks on our farmers? So, as a farmer, what do you think the government has done, and what do you think they're still doing to protect farmers and ensure that produce are actually carried out?
Right. Yes, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Despite all the problems, and there will always be problems, but Nigerian agriculture has continued to grow year in, year out. But at the same time, our population is also growing. So demand for food is also growing. So sometimes it's difficult to see these improvements. But when you look at the statistics, you'll see that a lot of progress has been made, on agricultural development. And there is no government that has not done its bit in trying to initiate policies that will improve not only productivity, but also the farmers' welfare. At the same time, there are numerous problems, numerous challenges, which we continue to advocate and continue to, advise government to, address. So basically, yeah.
So what are the peculiar challenges? Prior to insecurity becoming a thing,
yes,
we had good food. And we thought insecurity was the only challenge that is affecting productivity for farmers. But what are the other peculiar challenges that farmers face, and how is government mitigating them?
Right.
Is fertilizer really truly available, or are they holding it somewhere in Lagos after declared from the report? Or are they truly distributing to the farmers? The Anchor Borers program of the past administration really get to farmers, or some of in your association, some of the members?
Right. So, yes. Thank you very much. There are quite a number of challenges. The security problem is a different and distinct problem, which discourages farmers, a lot of farmers, from accessing their, farms and so on. But despite that, it's not nationwide. There are pockets of areas where this affects, but there are other areas where a lot of production is going on, while government is addressing the issue of security. Now, for those who are producing, the major challenge of agriculture, we can, put it in two ways. You have the upstream, that is the production, challenge, which basically is a problem of low productivity. The average farmer is not producing enough based on the capacity and the capability of his production unit, either land, fish pond, or livestock. The productivity is low because there's low level of technology application to what he's doing. The average farmer is, subsistent. It's not applying a lot of technology. There are lots of technologies out there, but the ability of the farmer to adopt this technology and utilize is a different question, which we will address. That is low level of productivity. Then we'll go to the downstream section. He has produced. Now that the food gets to us, the issue of lack of structure. Lack of structure in our system, kind of separates the farmer from the market.
Okay.
So, the food gets to you, but there are a lot of difficulties in between that makes what he has produced so much expensive by the time it gets to you. That is also a big challenge lack of structure, which again we must unpack and look at separately before we can then begin to, formulate policies or programs that can address each one of these challenges.
So,
yes.
Given how you've just explained it now,
Yes.
the lack of structure, do you think that this government and even previous administration have considered this lack of structure in the policies and initiatives that they have given?
Yes. Like I said, there has not been any government since independence till now that has not done something about agriculture. As a matter, I'll tell you what, even this present administration, just in 2 years, has raised our budget for agriculture by over 128%, unprecedented. But again, it's still too low.
No, so what I'm asking, I get that, but what I'm asking specifically is if they have considered this lack of structure.
They have. I'll tell you presently in Lagos, they're building what you call a agro hub in Imota, in the Ikorodu region. This is one of the major bottlenecks of agriculture, farmers getting food to the market at good prices when you need it and in good condition. All these facilities are lacking before. We have capacity to store only about 4% of what we produce. So a lot of them is lost post-harvest. So these structures are what we need to continue to put in place. Year in, year out, they are building, but it's not enough. We need to devote more attention to this infrastructure. And when I say infrastructure, don't please limit it only to roads and railways. You have, energy, you have storage, you have a lot of other things that we classify under, infrastructure. So this, if every state addresses it the way it is being addressed in some states with emphasis, and a lot of seriousness, you will see that, these problems will be solved. Take, for example, farmers will bring trailer loads of commodity, for example. Will get, all the way from up north or up country, get to the border of Lagos and wait there. And before phoning my 12 for this thing, what's going on there? What is the market price? What is, before they drive into Lagos? Whereas if all these facilities are around, like in other climes, you produce, even, for example, again, what Lagos is pioneering, this produce for Lagos. You can syndicate agreements with farmers in any part of the country that do this quantity, I will buy it at this time, at this price. You sign off-take agreement, and the farmer can even use that to go and borrow money from the bank. So these are, innovations that are coming that will affect eventually the prices of food, reduce importation, and then at the end of the day, the community well-being will be enhanced.
Okay, so I like the part where you mentioned the north, because I want to know the plans you have to reach out to the rural areas, because we have more farmers in those areas, and I know that accessing loan is very difficult for them. So is there an incentive where, most especially, like for my people, most of the time, they have more people that go in and plant, for example. They give birth to a lot of kids so that they can help in the farms and all of that. So do you people have where there are machines, especially maybe like planters, where these farmers can have access to? Just how do you plan to reach the rural areas, the farmers in those areas?
Thank you very much for that. It's very, very important, because a lot of people pay lip service to agriculture. They think they are doing farmers a favor. But they don't know that even agriculture, prosperous agriculture is the most equitable way of development. Because when you develop agriculture, you touch every part of the community, every part of the country. So it's important to develop agriculture. And when you go to these rural areas, when they have access to land, that is the most important thing. That is the means of production. A lot of people stay in the rural areas, like you said, but they don't have access to the land. It doesn't belong to them. It belongs to some lords and so on, which they have to pay, to get access to. This adds to their cost of production. So access to land, then access to input. Then when you have input, then you produce with using modern machinery. Just recently, you had Mr. President launched 2,000 tractors for the whole. That's a lot. unimaginable in the history of this country, and it is also a signal of what to come. So eventually, our per capita access to tractor has increased, and this will be a pointer to increased productivity and other opportunities. And then, of course, the farmers in the rural areas will be able to produce, knowing fully well that their commodity will go straight to the market without middlemen who corner it and inflate the prices.
This is my concern, because governments can have good intentions, create all these policies, but it's the humans in the individual states can actually make it manifest. As you said, model in Lagos State can be a model where they're building, but we need more states to be more proactive in ensuring that all the various value chains are invested in, so that it's seamless. But what do you think is missing? Because as I said, Nima said earlier, Anchor Borrowers Program, you have so many things and policies, even the issue of seedlings, because I know there was a time where government said they would be providing them with seedlings, and they had issues of fertilizer. Government is doing, but there are still some saboteurs amongst us, or there are some governments that don't have the political will to prioritize agriculture. So what is that? What can be done such that the mindset of these governors and even all these state actors begin to ensure that they align with the policies that the federal government is putting together?
Fantastic. You said it all. I now make bold to say that our inability to achieve sustainable food security in this country is not as a matter of lack of resources. That's human, material, or whatever. It's as a result of lack of the political will to implement policies the way they are designed. Due to the nature of our politics and human disposition. You see a new government comes, wants to change, not only at the federal level, but at state and local government level. You have good programs, you want to change the branding, you want to present it in another form so that it is identified with your, administration and so on. Continuity are one of the things. A lot of these programs, they are nothing new. Nobody is reinventing the wheel, but the ability to continuously monitor, punish those who have done wrong, seen to have, that you are doing the right thing at the right time, encourages people. All this rural-urban drift, will be mitigated if the youth note that when they get to their villages, all the opportunities they want in the urban areas are available in the rural centers. They won't come. They will sit, all these people driving Okada and doing all they are supposed to be working on the farms or in factories. It is because of lack of these opportunities trickling down to them. The other day I was watching, when Mr. President said, hold your governors responsible.
Yes.
Hold your local government chairman responsible. Yes. Unprecedented in the history of Nigeria, these tiers of government have access to resources that we have never imagined. Now, the issue is, how do they apply those resources? Are they well monitored? Let the people know in a particular local government, this is what we got, this is how we have applied it. So you know what is coming to agriculture, you know what is going to health, what is going to education, and they have specified exactly the things they want to do with it. So this way, it will be easier to achieve, track the progress, and monitor the impact.
So I agree with you, and I think there's also, they should glamorize farming for the young ones so that they will encourage them. But there's a conspiracy theory going around that there's an attack on our food production internationally. There's a food war crime going on right now. How true is it that our seedlings are no longer genuine, they cannot be replanted because they've been mutated, they are not the original because, of course,
genetically
known
modified
to us? What happened to our own? Our palm kernels, our ginger, garlic, and what is the level of our own production in some of these foods that are known to our region?
Thank you. Yes, again, I'm glad you said conspiracy theory. So it's not entirely correct, but there may be some truth to it. Yes, in this world with technology, there's the craze about genetically modified organisms, you know, and their impact. These are cultural issues, but scientifically, it has been proven that GMOs are better in some cases, you know, than the traditional varieties. But the issue is, what are the after effects? What are the, you know, cultural limitations and so on? For science is yet to bring out. GMOs has been in existence for decades in these advanced countries, and they have been consuming. What is important is label it appropriately, let people have the choice to choose what they want to consume. But what I tell you is that our research institutes need to do a lot to now promote these local varieties, to make sure that the seedlings and seeds are available for farmers. We do. We have, you'll be surprised, the research institutes all over the country for roots and tubers, for cereals, for, you know, livestock, for fish, and they are doing a lot. And they are manned by intelligent, world-class scientists. Some of them leave this country to the shores of, you know, other countries to make big names for themselves. But they need to be acknowledged, they need to be applauded, they need to be encouraged. So we are doing a lot. So, but what is important is even what is available, is it accessible to the farmer? You know, in terms of timing, in terms of pricing, so that the farmer has access. You know, when you say access, in all means, not only physical access, but also, you know, financial access to these materials. And that comes to the issue of, you know, access to finance, which is, you know, underlines every of the challenge that are brought forth in the, you know, in our discussion. So, you know, you can see that we can discuss access to finance on its own, but it's a major issue with agriculture.
Okay.
Yeah.
So food is still expensive. The last time I bought yams, how much did I? 7,000 a tuber and all of that. So what are the strategies that you have in place to make sure that food prices go low and makes affordable for everybody?
Well, produce more. Produce more, increase the productivity of the farmer. That is the fundamental strategy. Before you go into now distribution, you know, making it available at your corner shop. Because it's one thing to produce, let's say, in Farm A, situated in Benue State, and for it to be available in your table. So it's a lot of logistics involved, a lot of you know, activities, some scrupulous, some, you know, that you know, man-made, that make it difficult for you to get it. Even the farmer that produced the yam maybe went home with 25% margin on the yam he has produced. You that bought the yam at 7,000, you know, you gave the seller a margin of almost 200%. That's what happens. So, but if you give the farmer access to you directly, maybe you will have saved 150%.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what those hubs help us.
Exactly.
We have to wrap up with you, but I just wanted to, on a lighter note, find out that you were awarded Farmer of the Year. So what exactly did you do to get that?
Yes, I am one of the largest egg producers in Lagos State. So, and we distribute eggs all over the state. And during COVID, we did a lot to support our communities, distributing eggs to churches, to mosques, to you know, community centers, to assist people who couldn't go out. So, and we train a lot of people. We annually, a lot of students from the Lagos State University of Science and Technology come to us for internship. And we also, you know, we encourage other farmers to learn from best practices that we introduce, and we support.
This is the kind of behavior that deserves ambassador.
You just have to do it again.
Yes. Thank you very much for coming on the show. I think it's good to learn from you, and wish you the best, and hopefully more farmers can join into that sector.
Thank you very much.
That is all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Please don't be qualmish whenever you go on a plane. All eyes are on you. Everybody's supposed to travel to Abuja tomorrow. I said, bro,
No qualmish.
Please don't distract me. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.